So let's move on from file 3 to file 4. So again, same process as before. We open up and extract file 4. We open them up. What's our first instinct to do? We're going to locate it and sort of manually investigate what we've been given. Visually, we are already seeing that it's different. To us, the machine, to us it's already different. And certainly to the machine it must be different. So let's just go through. Remember before, we had seen that the outer profile and the eyes were all the same. They were circles. And in this case, I see that they are circles nevertheless. So, and we haven't really been playing with those, so it comes as no surprise. And this is seemingly working, yes? But then what is this guy right here? So again, this guy right here is a line. And if we go back now to our very, very first discussions, the first discussions were about either rotating something, mirroring something, or drawing something new. Now that we're equipped with what we've actually been given and a little bit more familiar with the data, we need to go back to the drawing board and sort of work our way through with everything we've talked about, how we're going to attack this specific problem. So for file 4, it becomes interesting because we have to sort of rewind all the way back to the beginning, recognizing that originally we had a not so happy face that looked like this, which inspired us to make the decision that we could rotate the smile, mirror the existing smile, or draw a new smile. Now that we have shown that actually the quote-unquote frowning face is really more of a unhappy face, that guy's not happy, and these two methodologies are now invalid just because of a change in data. So now that we have this guy and this guy are off the table. Good thing that we thought about this before, because one could explore now drawing a new smile. So again, we've developed an algorithm ad nauseum. We have plenty of work that we've done on how to actually make option 1 here work. Now let's go back and reinforce our skills, because we now know that the data is changing a little bit. On face value, on English value, it's the same. It's an unhappy face. But data-wise, we've been given something that is a bit different, and we're going to now use the skills that we've been working on the past few lessons to be able to develop a new algorithm which will work for file 4. So let's focus in on what we've been given and what we want. All right. So what we've been given, we just inspected. We have been given something that looks like this, and technically speaking, it's not actually looking like that on the screen, but that's what it looks like if we were to rotate the screen. Does it matter what the orientation is? It does, but for right now, for convenience, because I don't want to draw upside down, we'll do it this way. But what does the computer see himself? Again, list notation here. He sees this. I'm just going to draw it like this. There's no reason to think that he sees it in order. It's just information. It's a list. And we said that the data that is inherent in this is what? The data that's inherent is a line, and all the rest of them are circles. Yeah? So before we get too far down the data bucket here, remember, we always start by saying we're going to do a version 1 of the script and a version 2 of the script, where the version 1 is effectively, English. Let's just describe how we're going to go from this to this, right? So let's just describe how we'll do that. Now, this is pretty much, I think this is a very easy problem, and there's a lot of different ways you could do it. But let's remember that effectively, if we drew the face out like this, let's take some inspiration here. If that's the face, roughly speaking, that's the picture we want, yeah? So in relative terms, what part of this face could we use to get us that? And again, we're going to speak a lot in English here, but actually what may help us a lot is just to draw it out. So what if we use the mouth, for instance? So what if we said, I want to just say it's the mouth that originates like that, and then maybe one that's like this, yeah? So what if we just said, much like we said in the previous video, that maybe, again, if we appreciate data, that this mouth is actually infinite points, and we could pick off two of those points and then somehow, some way make a curve that goes in between them like this, yeah? That could be fine. That's a starting point, right? So let's just work on that basis. Let's just pretend that we talk in generic terms, that we want to create from the existing mouth a new curve that comes from.